LGBTQ plus student group wins shocking 5-4 Supreme Court decision against Jewish University. The Supreme Court said on Wednesday that an Orthodox Jewish university in New York named Yeshiva University is to officially recognize an LGBTQ plus student group. In a 5-4 vote, the justices rejected the request made by Yeshiva University, which said that recognizing the LGBTQ group would be against its sincerest religious beliefs. The Supreme Court decision is in line with what was said by the New York State judge who passed a rule in June that the university was bound by the New York City human rights law, which bars discrimination based on sexual orientation. The Jewish University argues that it is a religious institution and therefore must be exempted from the law. Obliging the school to endorse the LGBTQ plus student group would be a clear violation of its First Amendment rights. Last week, Justice Sonia Sotomayor imposed a temporary hold on the state court ruling, allowing the court to have more time to consider the university's request. On Wednesday, the court said that the university could turn to the High Court again if it does not agree with the ruling in the New York State courts. The New York anti-discrimination law exempts religious organizations from its jurisdiction, but Manhattan-based Judge Lynn Kotler mentioned that Yeshiva did not meet the relevant criteria. And if I remember correctly, I reported on this story 2 days ago, and I had optimism. And I think that now, we're optimistic. Yes. We have a 5-4 vote, and it wasn't looking so good when we last discussed this story. But to your point, Al, we're looking at religious beliefs versus civil rights issues. Right. And here we have civil right issues winning out at the New York City.
I have to provide an asterisk on that, because the relevant criteria that you just reported on in your story is that the state judge said that Yeshiva's primary purpose is education. They're not they have the periphery of a religious institution, but they're not a church. And very likely the Supreme Court would have ruled differently if it was a church. If the church wanted to ban LGBT congregates, the Supreme Court would probably justify it in conclusion. This 5-4 decision is that Yeshiva is a university, and its primary purpose is to educate, and so therefore it has to follow the human rights law.
If they want to say their thing is to educate, why are they trying to take that away and not educate everything? You know what I mean? Just pick and choose.
Yeah. Well, because it's Orthodox Jews, and I was going to say, suggest for further Orthodox mishigas and shenanigans, may I recommend the wonderful movie Eyes Wide Open, which is great, and the documentary Trembling Before God, if you really want to get a feel for the people who are running things at this school.
Yeah.
Now, are religious college or educational institutions
private? They can do what, in general, they are able to implement a lot of their own rules because they're not public institutions, and Yeshiva is a private institution. This decision, one other thing on the 5-4 vote, we're happy about it. When we, in our headline, the headline you just delivered, shocking 5-4 decision, because anything the Supreme Court does now is shocking to us on either side. There's a whole core of moral majoritists and Liberty University people that are shocked at this, just like we are. We win 5-4. They're shocked that they lose 5-4. The one big issue here, though, is while we're happy about this, it's probably short-lived because that state interpretation is going to be evaluated carefully. They're probably going to find the right federal judge to say, no, it's a religious institution, and so therefore freedom of religion trumps LGBT civil rights. And a 5-4 decision in the Supreme Court. When this happened yesterday, I thought to myself, oh yeah, it's just like Obergefell. We won. We're settled forever. No, it's not.
And I would not be surprised if there was some kvetching that the court sided with the Gentiles on numerous occasions and against Jews in this instance.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would
Now,
come
does
up.
this case open up room for other religious institutions that have, gay LGBTQ plus clubs or other clubs that don't necessarily?
The answer is yes. It will be used as a precedent
Right.
where the court has said we've ruled at this level. It's also a bad sign that they open the door to say, please, if you disagree, bring it back again.
Yeah, right.
What I like about this is here are a group of students challenging the status quo.
Right.
And I believe we are at a time where that needs to be visible, where we are seeing different groups, especially within our community, standing up for something. And I believe that this is progress to your point of what could be next. So I think it's a good thing. While it may be short-lived, it gives someone like myself hope, and I'm sure many others, that if we did it once, we can do it again, but we need to strategize to make sure that when we do it the next time, it's solid.
Sticks, and then it sticks.
Possibility.
Of course.
And it
I like
sticks.
that,
Stick the landing. One other thing that is interesting here to me for Yeshiva is, and I said this when you told the story a couple of days ago about that this was happening and what Sotomayor did. We were negative on Sotomayor pausing even the interpretation in that story. What's interesting is if you apply other kinds of minority status, take it out of LGBT, now put in black in this exact same situation, because the fine line that Yeshiva walked, this organization, this club, has been around for a number of years.
Since 2018.
Right. They could exist as long as they weren't official. Yeshiva says, wait, if we have to recognize you as official, we can't, because now God will hate us. And, well, why couldn't you make that exact same argument to say, well, we acknowledge that black people exist, but if we make them official, then we can't do it. Because honestly, I don't see any difference at all. The same for women. We know women exist, but we can't officially recognize them.
Is this because it would have become knowledge or public knowledge to the community?
Yes, it really would.
And therefore
Yeshiva
the
is
backlash.
embracing, that's exactly right. It becomes official in terms of providing meeting space, in terms of being able to participate in different events in an official capacity.
Right, and they run the risk of families not sending their students to the schools.
Money.
So it's like,
Right.
well,
Money.
they want
Does
to
We're
come
back
back.
to money.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
come back to
Religion, money, go hand in hand.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.